I'm all for studios putting $20 to $50 million into movies like The Meg, Meg 2, and Cocaine Bear, but give the audiences what they want to see, the B movie stuff. What's up, YouTube? Drive-By Movies here, and you're watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is James.
My name is Blaise.
And today we're going deep down into the trench because we are reviewing The Meg 2.
The Trench. Our research team encounters multiple threats while exploring the depths of the ocean, including a malevolent mining operation. So, The Meg 2 The Trench is directed by Ben Wheatley and stars Jason Statham. This is obviously a sequel to the original Meg. I don't think we discussed the original Meg on this because it came out so long ago. I don't know if we definitely weren't doing fresh release at the time, but I don't think we had a show that correlated with the release of the Meg.
Right. And I believe I just saw it for the first time within this year, actually. I think you saw it when it eventually hit like the streaming market and stuff.
No, I saw this in theaters.
Oh, you saw it in theaters?
Or the original film.
Okay.
I saw this as well in theaters, but the original, the Meg, I saw in theaters.
Okay.
So yeah, I have to say I really enjoyed the original Meg, but it was like an enjoyable watch in the theater because it felt like, something like Jaws where it's just this massive shark. The ending climactic scene was awesome in theaters, but when I recently rewatched it on home video, like honestly, it maybe didn't age that well, but I was still enthralled and entertained. But there was just weird stuff that didn't work like for, I feel like, an American audience because this is a Chinese movie, but it was mainly just like it was super emotional and dramatic at times instead of being like campy and cheesy. And I feel like the majority of tickets sold for the original Meg as well as Meg 2 The Trench are for people that want that campy, ridiculous movie. So anyways, James, what did you think of the film The Meg 2 The Trench?
Yeah, well, one thing I liked about the first one was that I thought the characters were all likable for the most part too. I enjoyed that, and a lot of them returned for this movie too, so give that credit. But I feel like the movie set something up really awesome at the beginning and doesn't do anything with it. We just got an action sequence set piece at the beginning and a little story time with this. This is the movie that made me cancel AMC A-List. I have just had constant bad experiences at AMC theaters. If you guys know, AMC's is the most popular movie theater chain. They're usually at malls and stuff. I got it because it was $25. I enjoyed seeing movies in IMAX and Dolby. It's not even worth it. I'd rather just I'm back at Movie Pass again. $20 a month. Like, that's double the amount than what it used to be. But I can see 3 movies a month. I usually only go to the movie once a month. And AMC A-List was $25 a month. And I was only going once a month anyways. So just the audience is god awful in this movie. Is also god awful at Ninja Turtles, god awful at The Flash. I'm just like, I can't do these mall cineplexes anymore.
Just children, or what would you say is the main issue?
So yeah, I saw The Meg 2 at like 10:30 at night. And there was a kid in the front row screaming and crying. Like they started off with the trailer for The Nun 2. I'm like, I can see you taking kids to see The Meg 2, but like, why are you taking them at 10:30 at night? Don't they got school tomorrow? Like,
wait, I guess it's Tuesday or what?
I guess it's summertime, but like, I know school's starting up, but like, what are you doing? Like, what is this going on and
parenting
stuff? So I was just like that was just such a bad experience. So that also might have made me like kind of not enjoy the movie as much, but also I just couldn't get into this movie. I got into the first one. I thought Rainn Wilson was like entertaining enough to keep the movie going. I like the popular TikTok star
Paige Kennedy.
Yeah, I like them in both movies actually. I think he's great in both in this movie as well too, but they don't utilize them enough in this sequel, I thought.
I'm gonna cut you off right here and say that he's the best part of the sequel, probably.
Okay, yeah.
But in a way, because he's the campiest aspect of this film, that he makes it enjoyable. It's like what you wanted. You wanted a silly, ridiculous movie, and he's the only character that's doing that for this film, where it almost feels like he's in a different movie than everyone else that's like in the movie. Like he's in his own little movie that I'm like, I wanted to watch his movie. And like Jason Statham's in like a boring like Fast and the Furious type movie or something.
That's what I just couldn't understand about this movie. There's 3 different movies going on within this movie. So as you said, this movie is like, you know, co-financed by both China and America, distributed by Warner Brothers within the US. It's more of a Chinese film. Jason Statham's literally on the boat or on a jet ski for 40 minutes of the movie. And yeah, he does some sick stuff with it. And they save all the best parts for him to like, you know, fight these Megs. But then we're getting all these weird action sequences with this Chinese actor, and you know that's fine, but it just like felt like 3 different movies are going on. I'm like, did they cut out every Jason Statham scene and just have the Chinese star like kind of do everything in the Chinese cut of the film? Like I don't know. Most likely it's the same movie for both countries.
I think they're juggling two audiences and 2 very different audiences, because my initial problems with the original Meg, I enjoy the movie, but it almost always felt like it was like weird because there were so many different scenes that you wouldn't see in an American movie. Like all the sentimental aspects of the original Meg, you're like, this doesn't fit in the movie that I'm trying to watch. This isn't in Jaws. This isn't like in any kind of horrific or creature feature type movie. This is just in like your average like dramedy. Like why are these scenes in the Meg? This is a creature feature, right? And this is supposed to be like a B movie, but it never is. And that was my problems with the Meg too. Like I enjoyed the movie mainly for like Paige Kennedy scenes and the 1 or 2, you know, one-liners that Jason Statham delivers. But other than that, like my problem is that they never commit to the bit of just being a B movie or being a silly movie. Like they're just trying to be self-serious. They're trying to have all these scenes about like their father and daughter relationship. And I don't think anyone's going to the movies to see the father and daughter relationship on screen. The scenes weren't bad. Like that's why it doesn't lose points for me. But it's just like they don't belong in the movie. Right.
This movie easily could have been cut down to 90 minutes because that takes up about 30 minutes. But also we get just this long 40-minute dull scene that's all CGI. We just get their faces on these CGI mech suits that let them travel underwater. But yeah, it's just like it's a movie that shouldn't be boring. But like how I felt with Cocaine Bear, it's just boring. I'm all for studios putting $20 to $50 million into movies like The Meg, Meg 2, and Cocaine Bear. But give the audiences what they want to see, the B movie stuff. These are B movie premises. Why are we trying to get sentimental? Because Cocaine Bear kind of had these weird sentimental sequences that just made no sense whatsoever.
And hardly focuses on the Cocaine Bear. Like that's the biggest issue with that film is it's barely about the Cocaine Bear. Like they didn't sell tickets to that movie on anything other than the fact that the title is Cocaine Bear. And that it's about a cocaine bear, but yet they literally don't have like, it's focusing on so much other stuff, trying to make a serious, like well-rounded movie when no one there cares about that. So stop. Like it's almost like an exploitation in a way of exploiting the exploitation movie and the exploitation audience that wants to go see something ridiculous, but then gets like a well-rounded movie. It's like, I didn't pay for this.
What sold me was the poster of Jason Statham riding a jet ski with a spear. Like I wanted to see him like go inside a shark and like cut the shark open.
Come out the ass of the shark.
Exactly. And why are we getting an octopus? Just give us another shark. And also the whole point over the intro too, I thought was setting up that we were going to get radioactive mutant monsters with all this radioactive liquid that they're pouring into the ocean. But it goes nowhere. Like, yeah, you can use that for the sequel. I don't know if that's what they were setting up. There is no end credits, even though this movie feels like an end credit sequence style movie. But just like, yeah, while watching, I was just like, that's such a sick premise. Like, I hope it goes, and it doesn't. And, you know, maybe they're going to come up with that idea for the third one because we're talking about it. Maybe others have talked about it too. But just, for a movie that should be fun and entertaining, it just felt like a waste of time. And I really didn't like this movie, sadly.
I will say I enjoyed this movie for the most part, but the gripes that I had is like, I'm just like, come on, like, please just give the audience what they want. They want an exploitation creature feature that's just a ton of fun. And this is just an average at best movie.
Right. Yeah, and there's a reason why it wasn't number one at the box office. Like, I know it did well enough to warrant like probably another sequel eventually, but I don't think anyone was waiting for this movie. But the fact that it took 5 years, it felt a little too late, but still a lot of audiences are down. We know it was a success. But if you're going to wait another 5 years and just give us kind of just the same old with just unnecessary sentimental stuff, not enough action, really poor CGI that already feels outdated 30 minutes after you walk out of the theater, then we're not looking good for the sequel that's kind of come out in 2028, I guess. So yeah, let us know what you thought about the movie. Leave a comment and let us know what you thought about it, because that's a great way to help support the show. It's still in theaters, so be sure to check it out. It'll also be reaching its way online, and when it does, be sure to catch it through our Amazon affiliate link in our description box below.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And if you can't get enough of us here on YouTube, be sure to catch all our social media links down below in the description box. We got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We also got our own personal letterbox accounts. That'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.